Dear brothers and sisters, do not let your hearts be troubled on this, the fifth Sunday of Easter. St. John's Gospel is remarkably transparent about the disciples' lack of understanding. Again and again, we are told they did not grasp what Jesus was saying at that time. But just as important, we are told that this changes. The events of Holy Week and Easter Sunday, when Jesus rose from the tomb, when he was glorified, then they remembered. This tells us that the gospel itself was written in hindsight. These events are not confused moments. They are interpreted moments, shaped by the cross and resurrection. So that in today's gospel passage, we are standing in retrospective activity. Even the first communities who heard the gospel proclaimed would not have heard it as a suspense thriller with unexpected twists and turns. They already had heard the resurrection proclaimed. They were not listening to discover what happened next. They were listening to understand what resurrection meant. And so when Jesus says, I am the way, the truth, and the life, do we not hear it differently when the ending is already known? Because we know where this way leads. It leads to the cross. It leads through death. It leads to resurrection. Resurrection, a concrete claim about the shape of God's life in our torn up world. And the way is not a set of instructions. It's a path already walked, a life already lived, a death already endured, and a new life already begun. Without the cross, the way could sound like a triumph. But with the cross in view, it is marked by self-giving love, vulnerability, trust in God, even when the outcome is not visible. The same is true of the truth and the life. They are not realities understood at a distance. In John's gospel, truth is not about corrections. Life is not about endurance. Truth and life are revealed, made known, embodied in the person of Jesus, revealed most fully in what looks like failure. And so when we follow this to the end, when we let hindsight do its work, the truth is revealed in betrayal, in arrest, in the unraveling of everything the disciples thought they understood. Truth is revealed when power exposes itself for what it is. When God refuses to meet that power on its own terms. The cross unmasks the world's definition of truth. You know it, and I know it as control, dominance, certainty. The cross replaces them with a costly self-giving love that does not need defending itself. And life follows the same reality. Life is not merely the absence of death. We know it to be something deeper. It only becomes clear when death actually enters the picture. So before Easter, life might sound like a blessing, might sound like abundance and fullness. Yes, it's true, but there's much more. Because after Easter, we know that life continues through death. And so truth and life are inseparable from the cross. They are realities when everything else falls apart. Hindsight will not let us forget the events of Good Friday. It leads us to Jesus, saying the promise that there are greater works than these. Greater because they extend what Jesus has already done. The revelation of God does not stop. It continues through those persons who now live in the light of what just has been revealed. Hindsight then gives true meaning unto us. So Easter 2026 AD cannot return to Holy Thursday 33 AD. We cannot go back. We should not pretend to go back. We know where the story goes. We know what the way looks like. We know the kind of life Jesus is talking about. And so we dare not live life as if we do not know. We should not be looking for ways to avoid the cross. We should not prefer truths that are easier to manage. And so, sisters and brothers, let us today recognize an invitation not to rediscover instruction, information, but to recognize what we already know. Today's challenge is not that the gospel is unclear. This is where the promise of greater works takes on greater perspective. Not to achieve something extraordinary, but a calling to participate in that same revealing work of God that has already been made known in Jesus. To live in such a way that Jesus' life, his mercy, his love, his self-giving, his trust in the Father, Jesus' life becomes visible again, here and now. Not because we have figured everything out, but because we have seen, and what we have seen is enough. So let Easter 2026 remove the illusion that we are still waiting for the ending. The task at hand now is that it looks like to live as people who already know it. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May he turn his face to you and have mercy upon you. May he turn his countenance to you and give you his peace. And may the Lord bless you, the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit.